Yes, sir. We will start, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir, I'll start. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Avani. I welcome my guide, Professor Victor, and my reviewers, Professor Pratap MS and Dr. Lokesh. My topic is automatic segmentation of white matter tracks using multiple brain MRI sequences. I'm doing this under the guidance of Professor Hemant Hessar and co-guided by Professor Victor. These are the contents. First, I'm going to introduce about the white matter tracks and the tractography, then the literature survey on the papers which I have reviewed, the methodologies which I have used, that is attention-gated YNET, the applications and the comparisons about this, the advantages and drawbacks, result analysis and discussion. Then I'm going to conclude and finally the references. Starting with the introduction, white matter refers to the areas of central nervous system that are mainly made up of myelinated axons called tracts. White matter tractography mapping is a must in neurosurgical planning and navigation to minimize risk of iatrogenic damages. Now let's know what is tractography. Tractography is a 3D modeling technique used to visually represent nerve tracks using the data collected by diffusion MRI. It uses special techniques of magnetic resonance imaging and computer-based diffusion MRI. The results are presented in 2 and 3 dimensional images, which are called as tractograms. Next is convolutional neural networks. In early white matter track segmentation research, different techniques were used, like example tracks, templates, Markov random field models, anatomical priors, geometric medial models, and geometric flows. But the segmentation quality and the ability to generalize well on unseen data remained limited. But CNN have demonstrated impressive skills for complex image segmentation tasks of medical data. So here CNN is used. Now let's know what is CNN. CNN has 3 layers. The first one is convolutional layer, max pooling, and fully connected layer. In convolution layer, this layer conceptualizes the characteristics of each image input. It stores the 3-dimensional connection among pixels by means of
Avani, sorry for disturbance in the middle.
Yes.
See, you are Victor student. Okay, I'm not expecting you people to explain what do you mean by convolution neural network. So I'm expecting for your topic how convolution neural network will be applicable. That needs to be explained.
That
Okay?
in methodology I'll explain. So now just a brief introduction about this.
No. I don't want the definition of convolution neural network because everyone knows it actually. How
Okay,
your convolution neural networks is incorporated for your topic needs to be explained when you are presenting this. If you want to explain what is convolution neural network, you please better skip this topic.
Okay, sir.
Title.
Okay, sir. Okay, moving on to the literature survey. The first paper is semantic segmentation of white matter in FTG PET using generative adversarial network. The year of publication is 2020 from the Springer Journal. Here the observation is the segmentation of generative adversarial network model was evaluated using evaluation parameters such as DICE, AUC-PR, precision, and recall. It was also compared with other deep learning methods. As a result, this proposed method achieves superior segmentation accuracy and reliability compared with other deep learning methods. The next paper is tumor segmentation and track statistics for accessing white matter integrity with applications to glioblastoma patients. The year of publication is 2020 from Elsevier Journal. Here the observation is the proposed deep learning model can effectively segment the glioblastoma tumors with competitive accuracy. TS square, that is the tumor segmentation and tract statics white matter pipeline, is more stable in tumor-based tractographic reconstructions. Statistical analysis method depicts the local and global variability in diffusion properties along the tracts, as well as the changes of diffusion features and connection structures between the GBM patients and the healthy subjects. The next paper is neural segmentation of seeding ROIs for pre-surgical brain tractography. In the year of publication is 2019 from IEEE journal. Here, the qualitative and quantitative validation was performed on image data from 75 real tumor resection candidates for SROIs for the motor tract, the accurate fasciculus and optic radiation. Here, the proposed networks showed promising results, that is indicating they may significantly improve the efficiency of pre-surgical tractography mapping without compromising its quality. The last paper is tractography in the presence of multiple sclerosis lesions in the year 2019 from Elsevier Journal. These results show that multiple sclerosis white matter lesions impact fiber orientation reconstructions, but this does not appear to hinder the ability to anatomically reconstruct white matter tracts in MS. Individually, tract segmentation in this is feasible on a large scale and could prove a powerful tool to investigating diagnostic and prognostic markers. Moving on to the methodology, the first method here is attention-gated YNET, that is AG-YNET. This is a novel fusion approach that assigns a distinct encoding path to each input channel to optimize the extraction of channel-specific features. In the synthesis path, the connections are skipped from each input and fused by means of attention gate module and subsequently concatenated channel-wise to the corresponding decoding path layer. In this diagram, the encoding and decoding schema has been redesigned to provide a dedicated encoding path for each input channel. Also, convolution kernels has been set into 3 into 3 into 3 to keep the number of parameters reasonable in the multi-input channel scenario. The brief description about encoder and decoder will be given in the next slide. Here, the number of feature channels in AG-YNET is set to 16, 32, 64, 128, and 212. That is in the analysis part, that is the encoder. And 128, 64, 32, and 16 in the synthesis part, that is the decoder. Here, the attention-gated networks have been used for the computation of high-resolution feature attention masked from low resolution features. Here, they have proposed a modified attention gate to fuse the features obtained for the different input channel. In contrast to, the proposed attention gate uses an additional input and adds the original feature map, that is X1, to the alpha X1. That is, let's consider the first input as X1 and the second input as X2. The attention gate module with two inputs and a single gate is used when features from two input data channels are available. One of the channels, that is X2, in combination with the low resolution features, that is the gate, are used for the mask calculation. Adding the original feature map X1 to the alpha X1 is done in order to retain the original features and highlight the salient ones in the other input data channel. In such a manner, the features from different data sequences are fused in a complementary way that benefits each of the data type. Moving on to the loss function. Here, the desired white matter tracts occupy relatively small parts of the brain volume. So the significant class imbalance exists between the segmented foreground and background voxels. They have adopted the dice coefficient loss, that is known as the F1 score, proposed in the VNet. as it proved to be a better solution in the imbalance scenario than classical weighted cross entropy. Moving on to the applications. The applications are schizophrenia, epilepsy, brain tumors, and age-related white matter changes in the brain. Schizophrenia means it's a disorder that affects a person's ability to think, feel, or behave clearly. Epilepsy means it's a disorder in which nerve cell activity in the brain is disturbed. Brain tumors is it's nothing but the growth of abnormal cells in the brain. For age-related white matter changes in the brain, it mainly occurs among the elders. The white matter changes are considered to be logically related to cerebral small vessel disease. Moving on to comparisons. Here they have compared the AG-YNET to the other baseline function techniques, that is a VNet1, VNet-T1, VNet-RGB, VNet-RGB-T1, and VNet-T1. These are the techniques for the three major bilateral tracks, that is 3 left and 3 right, routinely used to neurological mapping, that is the corticospinal tract, optic radiation, and arcuate fascicle. Segmentation accuracy was quantified by the DICE index. Binary segmentation maps were created from the probabilistic output by thresholding point at 0.5. The different DICE score ranges are observed for different types of tracks. This is maybe due to the variation reconstruction quality and the correctness of the semi-automatic ground truth. And they have also done another comparison. It's a quantitative comparison of the proposed method is performed with the state-of-art track seg algorithm. In this case, the 4 additional byte tracks, including the last 3, are done with a different degrees of reconstruction difficulty were considered. Thalamo-postcentral, cingulum, uniciate fascicle, and fornix, both left and right side for each. AG-YNET significantly outperformed the track seg for all the considered track types. Here we can see the DICE score of 9 to 10 points difference from track seg and AG-YNET. The advantages are short acquisition time, available on most clinical systems, that is acquisition, tensor reconstruction, and scalar measures such as FA and ADC. Anisotropic measures useful for clinical studies and aid for diagnosis. The drawbacks are limited in crossing and curving areas. That is, only one fiber direction is possible and it does not support the multi-direction. Scalar measures limited in non-Gaussian areas. That measures must be interpreted with care. In the result analysis, it is observed that for all the tested track types, AG-YNET outperforms track seg algorithm. In particular, for the fornix, the improvement is 9 to 10 DICE points as seen in the previous graph. This may suggest that the tracks which are difficult to delineate in a single MRI sequence type will benefit more from the proposed fusion method. The sample quantitative results are shown in the figure below. In this, the left side is the samples for ground truth, that is which is in green color, and the AG-YNET is red color. And for the optic radiation tracks, the DICE score of the AG-YNET in the left side is 0.830 and the right side is 0.805, and for the corticospinal tracks the DICE score in the left side is 0.857 and in the right it is 0.852. Now let me conclude this. Here a novel multi-input data channels fusion architecture was presented for the segmentation of white matter tracks. They have validated the proposed method on the clinical quality HCP dataset and observe its favorable comparison with other fusion architectures based on VNet network, as well as the state-of-art track seg network. The obtained promising results indicate that the proposed method may become a successful tool for the segmentation of white matter fiber tracks. In future, they will more validate will be performed on a real clinical data sets. These are the reference papers. Thank you.
Any questions from the students? At least one or two questions needs to be asked from the student side. Okay. From my side, I have few questions.
Yes. Yes.
Can you go to the slide where it contains something called FEA, some drawback, drawback, before drawback, yeah. This
This
one.
one, sir.
Okay. So what do you mean by acquisition?
So it is the collection of images and like selecting the features, so whichever the feature is needed.
What are the features?
So here we need to segregate the white matter tracks. So here we are using the we only collect the white matter tracks features.
How?
So using that
How you will
tractography,
distinguish regular patterns with the white matrix patterns?
that
Is
is,
any value is given for white matrix? Well, any value is given for other than the white matrix?
sir, that is they have used they have used RGB colors, sir,
What
to
is it value?
extract
What is the
to
value number?
extract the features of white matter.
What is FA and ADC?
Sir, FA is it's the passive. 1 second. So it's classical acquisition. Fractional.
Okay.
It is the fractional anisotropic, sir. ADC.
Okay.
ADC is apparent diffusion coefficient.
Okay. So according to your understanding, what do you mean by segmentation?
Segmentation is extracting the desired features, whichever features we need.
What is acquisition? And what is the difference between acquisition and segmentation?
Acquisition, it's collecting the data, I mean, which are all the features.
Correct.
And then segmentation is the next step. Like we differentiate the features which is required and we collect it.
Is it something like classification? Segmentation comes under classification.
Yeah, yes, sir. I mean, like in segmentation, we segregate all the like main. We segregate.
You go to your methodology. I told you to skip some topic, no, where you are explaining something called
CNN.
Everyone uses this buzzword, okay, called convolution neural network. Convolution neural network. What is it actually? What is the main purpose of convolution neural network?
Sir, first it
What
takes
it
the
does
input.
actually?
It takes the input image and stores it in pixels. And then it, like for example, if the image it divides it into matrix, like for example, it converts the image into matrix like 5
No,
into
I don't
5.
want the middle
And then,
part and all.
yes, sir. First in the
I
convolution
don't
layer,
want middle part.
first it divides the pixels
So
into.
what actually? So it's taking the input and generating the output.
No, sir. It is the input layer.
Am I right?
In between those processes.
It's taking the input and generating the output. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
As per your diagram.
Yes, sir.
in between so many processes occurring, we don't want that process. So can you tell me what is the input is been given and what is the output is generated?
Input the image is given, sir. The image of
No, it's
the
not in the image. It's not in the image.
so you're asking about
It
my
is in the form of matrix.
yes, sir. That is what I'm
You
explaining.
go to the particular methodology and you tell how this convolution neural network is being
Yes, sir. That is
adapted.
what I told. First, we will give the image, and that will get converted into pixels, and that it will be represented in pixels, and that will be converted into matrix, and then that reduces the size of the matrix.
Where it is reducing, it's in the softmax or where?
So first, in
In
the
your
convolution
methodology,
layer, it reduces.
where convolution layer in your diagram?
So here in encoding and decoder, each layer it reduces, sir. Then the decoding is done.
One word answer you should tell where convolution neural network is being applied in your methodology.
So it's the complete process from starting till the ending.
The whole complete process or complete process is considered as a convolution neural network.
Yes, sir.
Sir, Victor sir, you can take up the
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. So let
questions
me
from
just maybe, no, sir. She knows what she's saying. See, sir, I'll tell you. So, basically, let me start from CNN. Okay, so CNN, yes, like she said, the input to our CNN is an image, but the computer does not understand images, right? So that image, obviously, computer sees it in pixels. And here we are not talking about color. Hence, we took it in grayscale. So only it will be easy now if we look at the dimensions, say maybe 244 by 224. That is what we have. Now in that, what we have to do, we perform some things that in between, which we call like convolution, pooling, and max pooling. And then the main thing here is we want to distinguish, say, brain, maybe like, go to your topic quickly, go to your topic, go up. Avani, scroll up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so the attention here is we want to do what segments, and like you asked, so what is segmentation? In simple terms, we want to find a particular region that says this is white matter from other parts of the MRI. So we have gray matter, we have white matter, we have CSF. So these are the three major elements of our major interest. But the interest here is purely on white matter. So that's white matter. We have some matrix, which again is a big thing. So why she use AGYNet, which is attention gated, according to the paper, sir. So this is kind of a model of CNN. So our basic CNN works on the principle of convolution and pooling. So in this case, we are not showing the in-depth convolution and pooling. Rather, we showed it in encoder and decoder. So I believe also in one of the slides, the authors reported how the encoding happened by downsampling. Go down, let me see, is it this paper or is it, am I talking about Prithvi's paper? Go down, in encoder, go to encoder.
Yes, sir. This
yes, sir. So here, yes, sir. So in this encoding, you can see, sir, these are like kind of chunk of CNN also in between. Where you see here, sir, from the input image, sir, we downsampled again and we upsampled again in the decoding part. So, and we're able to get this. So this actually, she knows, yes, what she's saying, okay, sir, to an extent. But what the authors only looked at YNet. Now, CNN only is like, we can see it as a feed-forward network, sir. From input, it propagates to the output. But UNet, which Prithvi explained, went little down, right? Like a U. But this one is called YNet. So again, it's similar to V, but with kind of an extended tail. So we have VNet, we have YNet, we have UNet, we have CNN, we have 3D UNet and others. So here, the authors only found out that this edge attention gated YNet architecture works better as in this case. And then mostly what happens here, we don't use accuracy to check the performance, the metrics, metrics, now metrics of the system. Hence, they use the dice score. I guess dice score was reported, right?
Yes, sir.
So they use dice score because in accuracy, sir, we can also have false positives and false negatives, which is actually a very challenging issue here. So if someone does not have a disease and we predicted that they have a disease, it's also very it's complicated also as saying that someone did not have and we said they have. So in that case, accuracy will fail us now. So we have to look at dice score. In between, we will be able to address all those misclassified instances. Yes, sir. So really, sir, the paper is Tumba technical, but yeah, I think kind of she tried to address most of your questions, sir. So yeah, that is my little contribution. And then Vani. So my question is, how do you differentiate ROI versus SROI? I saw it somewhere.
It's in the literature service.
I saw it somewhere, ROI versus SROI. You should know your presentation. I just
Yes.
noted that down.
Yes, sir. It's in the literature survey.
Yes.
It's the same.
So what is SROI? Because
it's a seeding ROIs, sir. It's the regions of interest. It's known as the regions of interest.
that is ROI. So what is SROI? Seeding.
Seeding, like the main parts, whichever is needed, like in the depth, like the only one particular feature.
Okay. Anyway, somehow I looked it up because this is the first time I'm seeing it. Okay. So yes, in that case, see, ROI obviously helps you in the segmentation, right? Where we identify the region of interest. But this one goes in different name, either seeding or secured ROI. Where do you have data imbalance problem, you use SROI. I guess you mentioned it somewhere, right? Some data imbalance, something I had it. So that is why SROI works in this case. Okay. Next, if somebody asks you, see, what is the difference between diagnosis and prognosis? Because I had it somewhere. Diagnostic and prognostic, something you said it. So what is the difference?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Did you understand my question?
Yes, sir.
She's going to the slide, I think, sir. And
Yes,
she
yes,
will
sir.
explain.
I can't remember. I think it was in a sentence in between when you are presenting. You said something about diagnosis and prognosis.
Yes, sir. So for
Okay, no
diagnostics,
problem. See, diagnosis, yes.
It's the
I had-
process of detecting, sir, and finding out the faults, finding out the failures of the place. It in
Correct.
prognostics, it predicts the remaining parts of the life, remaining useful parts of the life.
Okay, no. See, I think maybe the only thing is English now. Okay, it's an English word. Okay, diagnosis tends to ask, does this person have a disease or not? What is the disease? Okay, so they have COVID. Okay, now prognosis is what? Can we predict the nature of the spread of this? So use the word prog with prediction. Okay, diagnosis with detection. Got it? This is for everybody. Okay. Because two things are there: medical diagnosis, medical prognosis, and then medical treatment or precision medicine. So if we say, does this person have the disease? Can we detect the disease? Yes. What is the name of the disease? COVID-19. Okay, fine. How can this disease spread? What will be the effect of this disease on their lifestyle and things? That is prognosis. Okay. So we want to predict, say, if it is cancer, the nature of the spread of this cancer. Okay. Done. Okay, I don't have any more questions.
And
okay.
Victor, sir, I want to convey to the students who are attending seminar presentation now.
Sure,
a few things I need to tell. Okay.